Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Football Safe Space, presented to you by the Fantasy Shotcallers. I'm 7 o'clock. I'm accompanied with my brother from another mother. Brother Fox, how you holding up?
Hey, I'm well, brother. Always ready to spit these fantasy facts, baby.
And on the other side, the other Pouncy bro, the king of the South, Big E, a.k.a. Fantasy Football Big Guy. Talk to him.
Hey, much love to everybody. I missed last week. It hurt me to my heart, hurt me deep in my heart. But I'm back with my brothers tonight. I'm blessed and highly favored as always. And let's get into it, man. Let's talk it.
Yes, Brother Fox, before we get into it, how can the good folks take care of us?
As always, y'all can give us that HBO special. If you don't know what the HBO special is, it's the Help a Brother Out special. So help some brothers out. Hit that like button, subscribe. It truly goes a long way.
There it is. Big E, we missed you, man. It was a lot carrying this brother last episode. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, not having your help to carry him, you see his size. It was a lot, brother. It was a lot. But without further ado, who hurt you this week?
Me? Well, let me start. Let me just talk my talk. Then talk my sass. Man, well, it started off Thursday night when I had to play, the Barrow and Chase stack, which which hit me for 97 points. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. And I had Mark Andrews. He got the tub, and I had Zay. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, you know what I'm saying? I got like 28 points. So it's like 20. I done lost 2 players. He had 2 players, 28 to 97. So it started there. You know what I'm saying? Got pounded on. You know what I'm saying? It was a tough week.
Hey, yo, pounded on.
But I digress. So y'all can have it.
Who hurt you, Brother Fox?
Well, first off, look, he didn't mention them, but I know his Raiders hurt him, even on their bye week, because they terrible. You know what I'm saying? But let's see. This week it was the usual suspect, DJ Moore. Something's like obviously everyone is kind of struggling slightly in that Bears offense. So much so that they fired their offensive coordinator this morning. But 3 catches, 24 yards, 1 carry for 3. This is unacceptable from a wide receiver 1. And Aaron Rodgers, man, Ron. How you gonna go from having 3 touchdown game, your best game of the season, to 151 yards? Like, come on, bro. They definitely hurt me. Ron and DJ Moore hurt me in 2 leagues.
Not to be honest, man, that entire Jets offense was rough. Rough. I mean, both receivers kind of was barely salvaged today. Breece Hall, where are you at?
Breece dirt.
We're gonna talk about him later. We're gonna talk about him later. But it's been a rough year for the Jets, and I solely blame it on the owner and partially on Aaron Rodgers, because I think Woody let it get out of hand and let him destroy this franchise that was actually built. This roster that was built for success this year. At least I felt like they was at least should have flirted with a wild card. The offense was the issue. It wasn't the defense, but you got rid of the head coach. Not only did you get rid of him, but you wouldn't even let him say goodbye to his soldiers, which is totally unprofessional and unheard of. Then you still kept hacking. That was the problem. And now the defense is like, now you're giving up 30 a game. What do you
They didn't have to throw the man out of the building like that, man.
Nope.
They really dogged the man out. He really, he changed the culture, I feel. The Jets were nobody until he came. So, I don't know. That was a little dirty, but, Aaron Rodgers, he just got that. I don't know. He just a virus, man. He's a virus. It's just
team obliterator.
Yes, sir.
Facts. He's the new T.O.
So we're going to talk about the midseason review, but we got to stick to the formula, the blueprint. So, Brother Fox, I know it's thin. I know it's skinny.
Oh,
what you got for us on that waiver wire?
Yeah, it's real skinny this week. But so a player that's available in 66% of leagues, he actually started getting picked up throughout the game. But his name is Audric Estime, running back for the Broncos. He seems to have taken over as the RB1 over Javonte Williams. And he has that one cut speed. He reminds me of a poor man's Nick Chubb, like very, very fast. Wide receiver John Mechie from Houston. I do understand that Nico Collins was out, but Messi seems to have developed a connection, and they have him running the same route tree that they had for Stephon Diggs. So with Stephon Diggs out, I feel like Messi's still going to put up the numbers with Collins on the other side. Now this is I can't even believe this is coming out of my mouth, but MVS.
Whoa! Woo!
He had 3 catches for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's Randy Moss Thanksgiving versus Dallas numbers right there.
Hey, where are you at now? I don't even know where
he's with the Saints. And he's with the Saints, but it's weird because like I really had to go back and look, and I was like, what? Why is MVS successful with Derek Carr, but wasn't successful with Pat or with Allen? And it seems it's like the ball that Derek Carr throws. He throws like a high arcing lob, and it seems like nigga, if you can't catch that, you can't catch for nothing. Right. And so yeah, it's like he's helping out MVS a lot. So. And to the point, I was just like, okay, all right, MVS, he's that new Rashid Shaheed in that offense. So it was definitely respectable. And last but not least, and I don't think this is only if you're really hurting for a quarterback, but he has put up 3 consecutive weeks of at least 2 touchdowns. Bo Nix, he's looked good in that Broncos offense. They seem to have found something with him, and him and Cortland Sutton have a connection. So, yeah, those are my 4 for the week. Audric Estime, running back for the Broncos. John Mechie, wide receiver for Houston. MVS, wide receiver for the Saints. And Bo Nix, quarterback for the Broncos.
Yes. I like
Big E. Let's get into that mud team. Give us a quarterback, running back, 2 running back, receiver, flex, tight end, however you want to do it.
I'm just gonna name out some names. I think Caleb Williams, he done moved to mud. You know what I'm saying? He overhyped, bro. I mean, Stroud, you dirt. You playing, 1 TD, 2 interceptions, golf, 5 picks. Got to put you on the list. CD Lamb, hey, bro, you're gonna have to get the sun eyes. Let's get that catch. Barkley was dirt. Nico didn't play, so it killed a lot of people on Monday night. You know what I'm saying? That really hurt people. Devontae Adams. And I'll finish it up with ATN and Take Dale. They pretty much mud in my eyes.
Hey, Jacksonville. Ooh, I don't know what you do in that situation. Do you fire the coach? You just breaded Trevor Lawrence. The running backs. ATN's got to leave, right? He got to be a. They're not going to resign him after that 5th year.
If the season ended today, the Jaguars would have the number 1 pick.
Right. That's what I was wondering. I was like,
the number 1 pick.
And then what would they do? Another bomb.
Yeah. I don't know what they would do because you just paid your quarterback $55 million. He ain't living up to it. You're probably cleaning house, GM and head coach.
Yeah.
And so it gets tough.
Right. And do you trade that pick and try to build around him, or do you trade him for what, like a second, maybe? What's the value on a Trevor Lawrence on the 1.1
with the contract?
That's not 5.9.
So it's just with that contract, it does make it difficult, especially because we all got eyes. The other GMs got eyes too. They see who he is. I just don't. I don't feel like you could get anything more than a mid-round pick. You might get a really desperate team that'll give you a 4th, but I think it would be like a 5th. It would be a 5th and like a 7th or 5th or 6th. Because you got to think whoever takes him has to take that contract. That contract technically hasn't even started yet, gentlemen. He's on the 5th year of his this is the 4th year of his rookie contract. They picked up his 5th year option and re-signed him. So next year, he's still on his rookie deal. So if you trade for him, you have that Negro for 6 years.
Like a Watson trade. That's kind of like a Watson deal.
Yeah.
And I wonder to myself, is he just like, he just doesn't want to play for Jacksonville? Would you want to play? I mean, would you really want to get hit for a team like that? I mean, He has to be better than that. I've seen flashes, but not this year.
That first year with Peterson, he looked promising, man. He looked real promising. They made the playoffs. I think they even came back up on the Chargers, right? In that
Yeah,
wild card. Eventually lost to KC in the second round. I don't know what happened to that, Trevor Lawrence.
right.
Yeah. If I'm Trevor, though, and they do look to move on from me, I would request to move to an NFC team. Maybe some of the NFC West. Maybe he takes over for Geno Smith. It sounds like the New York Giants, they're completely done with Jones. So if they get Jones off the books, then that's technically opened up some money. So we'll see what happens. But yeah,
I don't remember no Mike Jones.
Oh yeah,
Mike Jones.
But I'm talking. Hey, I'm thinking about Mac Jones. Let him start. You know what I'm saying? Because
they almost beat. Who did they play last week?
Vikings.
They almost beat the Vikings, and then with Trevor Lawrence, they almost beat the Eagles.
But the Eagles suck, though. I think the Eagles just don't look good to me.
You think the Eagles the Kansas City Chiefs of the NFC?
This nigga.
But hey, I wouldn't put the Eagles down that bad. You know what I'm saying? But I would just say that they're not. They don't look as good. They don't look.
The Eagles are poorly coached. That's their main thing. They're poorly coached, and they have a lot of high draft picks who just aren't living up to to where they were picked. That big kid out of Georgia, the nose tackle, I forgot his name. No, Carter's living up to it. Carter's he's balling out of control. But the kid next to him,
he slipped a little bit.
Yeah, he was like 6'6", a biscuit short of 350, big dude. He's soft. He's charming soft, bro. He look like Tarzan, play like Jane, bro. He's soft.
No. Hey, but look, let me ask you, because you was talking about all them deep balls that KC was going to throw. Where is Worthy at? Because a lot of people are playing Worthy. He dirt.
Worthy he's interesting, bro. Like, I had much higher hopes for him coming into the season, but he has speed and he has like open field speed, but he don't cut very well. He doesn't make cuts up the field. And like I look at him compared to other players of that same ilk with this. Like I look at like Jahmyr Gibbs. I was watching that Lions game on Sunday Night Football. Jahmyr turns the corner, and so does Worthy would turn the corner with similar speed, but Jahmyr cut it back in. But Worthy just plays soft. I'm chopping it up to him being a rookie. But I'm hoping for something in the future. But he's gonna be like a number 3 gadget guy. And I was hoping for more. He can run a good route tree, but it's just Pat don't trust him, and Pat seems to overthrow him. Like I feel bad. Worthy should have two more touchdowns. He got overthrown the past 2 weeks for touchdowns. So
right.
Well, it is the mid-season review. How y'all want to get into it? Y'all want to talk about a guy? Let's talk about who we called. One that you deserve your flowers for. Big E, who you got? Who is you on the bandwagon for? And he's delivering like you said he would.
Well, there was a couple of players. I did say, you know what I'm saying, Bowers. We did talk about Bowers when I was picking. I picked about Kelsey not being number 1. I said Brock was going to be kind of a joking way, but I still said Brock was going to be good. So I think that Brock was a player that I knew was going to be better than advertised. That's one player. There's a few more, but I like to hear what Brother Fox had to say. Who'd you pick, Brother Fox?
I thought Saquon Barkley was going to have a good season, and up until last week, he's been pretty consistent. A guy who I thought that might show flashes, and I actually took him in multiple leagues. DeAndre Swift. He had a rough start to the season, but the past few weeks he's been very, very, very consistent. I had hoped for more from Jordan Love, but he's been up and down, very inconsistent. But he has put up some decent numbers this season. And I thought CeeDee Lamb was going to be better than what he is. But he has put up some some decent numbers. He had some big games, but for the most part, it's been pretty mid.
For myself, Joe Mixon. He was
Yes.
one who I was really, really big on, and I want to say 6 full games that he's played, he's averaged at least, I think, 88 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown.
Yes.
So, this past Sunday night versus Detroit's defense is the first game that he didn't have 100 yards rushing, but he did eclipse 88 yards total yards, and still had a biscuit. So he's someone who I was really, really big on and didn't understand why the community didn't believe that he would outperform his third round ADP. He was last year's RB6, went to a better offensive line, a softer division, really good supporting cast in Diggs, Collins, Dell, and Stroud. And yeah, I saw it.
Right. I think also with best picks, if we're talking about the best picks, I thought I had Joe Mixon, but I also had somebody that I did not, support drafting, and that was Jamar Chase. And proven himself, buddy. He gonna get way more. He gonna get way more than Justin Jefferson them, because he is that guy. He's proven. I think he's the best wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Over Justin Jefferson?
I don't even think it's close. Yeah, I agree.
Would you think that if Justin Jefferson had Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase had Sam Darnold?
I mean, well, Joe, like I said, Joe was playing like garbage, and Chase was still getting off. I mean, Darnold played like trash this last week, and Jefferson, he did fair. He got 13 like fantasy points, something like that, maybe a little bit lower, certain leagues. But I'm talking about, I mean, Chase is just that guy. I mean, you see it. I mean, I can't explain it. You just see it. I mean, in the number 200 something yards. When do you see
that quote he had after the game when the Bengals lost, and they were like, "Hey Joe, how'd you feel about Jamar? How'd you feel about Joe throwing it to the tight end? Were you open on that last play?" He's like, "Hey, I'm always open." And it's true. Like when it comes down to it, he's made Joe Burrow have a much better season than what he really has done this year. He's taken a lot of slants that were 10, 15-yard ends. He looks like a better route running, slightly slower Tyreek Hill from a couple years ago. It's like he catches it across the middle and just makes people miss, and just runs these impeccable routes just to get open. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah,
exactly. Kudos to him. He was someone I was skeptical, but I still believed he was a first round pick. Same thing about Jefferson. Or not yet, no. Jefferson with Sam Darnold and CeeDee Lamb holding out. Chase and Lamb, we were all kind of hesitant about soft tissue. But one I was correct about, CMC. Renner Center. He was hurt going into the season. We didn't know it was this severe, but if you drafted CMC, I think I saw something like most of the teams without wins in fantasy football this year, I think it was week 8 up to week 8. I think 21% of them CMC owners. So he screwed a lot of people over. Shanahan, that entire franchise, trying to be too cute, screwed a lot of people. They could have saved people Monday night, bare minimum.
Right. I'm calling Flo Joe out, because Flo, he always in the chat talking about his losses. And I have 4 wins, but I'm like, yo, I drafted CMC. What his excuse? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk about. I got 4. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, more than him. You know what I'm saying? And now CMC's back. We're gonna see. And I love Flojo, but I got to pick with him sometime. But as far as like worst draft, worst picks in the draft. If y'all want to swing that way, if that's cool. I think. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, CMC was on the list, obviously, as the top number 1. I think for me is Olave. You know what I'm saying? If you talk about that lob ball, he talking about that lob ball, Brother Fox. Oh, he know all about that. With Carolina Panthers, he know all about that, bro. And I ain't gonna take the other ones. I might pick up a few, but I'm interested in who y'all said were the worst draft picks so far.
Man. For me, my own personal worst draft pick, and now he's actually picked it up the past past month, but early in the season, I was like, "What did I do?"
Right.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson was awful. The first damn near 2 months of the season, he was terrible. It's actually kind of opened up for him since they got Devontae Adams. He's seeing less double coverage, and thereby, and he's been able to have a few games. But that, like you said earlier, that whole offense is just putrid, and it's hurt. I was hoping this was going to be the year that he stepped into that next echelon of receiver, but it just didn't happen. And another one I've been wrong about was I thought Caleb Williams was going to have a much better year and that it would triculate down to some of the other players. And I made a bet on not only Caleb Williams, but I thought DJ Moore was going to put up some fantastic numbers. And DJ Moore has just been that. This Negro's on a milk carton somewhere, bro. He missed. We still looking for him because he nowhere to be found.
For me,
you got, Seven?
I'm gonna say for me, Patrick Mahomes in the 3 leagues. In the 3 leagues I'm in, I was the first person to take a quarterback, and I took him in all 3 leagues, and that's why I've gotten off to the start that I have gotten off to. Started to come alive. He had a 3-touchdown game the other day. Played a difficult, underrated Denver defense last week, so I'm hoping. But yeah, he kind of killed me. I took him mid to late 3rd round, which not supposed to take quarterback early, but I felt like with the addition of Worthy, with Rice, Kelsey, Hollywood, I was like, man, I felt like 45 touchdowns was a possibility, and 4,500 yards was a possibility, and we'll see. He's not going to get that mark, but we'll see if he can salvage the season. One guy who I was never a big believer of, and I let the media sway me, Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk was dog water going into before his season got ended. He was straight up dog water. Just got outplayed by BTJ. This guy was wide receiver 9 2 years ago. I think he was wide receiver 7 before he got hurt while Calvin Ridley was there. So with the absence of Calvin Ridley, I'm thinking he gonna eat. Nope. He's stinking just like the entire Jacksonville team, just like the Jaguars, bro. And that was a 5th round pick. I think I got 3 shares of him too. I took Pat in the 3rd, and I took Christian Kirk in the 5th, in all 3 leagues. And in all 3 leagues, it's rough. It's hard out here.
It's hard. I had a couple more names, but you guys know what I'm saying. If you guys had anything else, I had Marvin Harrison Jr. He hurt a lot of people. And Breece Hall, which people don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? Breece Hall hurt a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? Of course. And this is the number 1, Seven. This Seven's main guy right here, Zamir White, brothers.
I was on him too.
Oh,
killed people.
Got me looking wild out here in these streets. He just scored his first touchdown and had to get a bye.
Oh my God! Right.
Yeah, he got me out here looking goofy. Out here looking straight goofy. One that surprised me in a good way, Kyle Pitts.
Well,
surprisingly, he having a better season than we all thought. I'm not saying he's killing it. I'm not saying he's gonna finish strong, but so far, he done scored 3 more touchdowns than I thought he would.
Right. I mean, I like that. If we doing the surprise, and some of my surprises, this has just been it's just full of injuries this season. Yeah. This season is like one of the worst I know or can remember with injuries. But for a surprise pick was Chris Godwin for me. Chris Godwin carried my team. I mean, he carried a few of my teams. I was saying I even got him on IR. I know he can't come back, but he gonna ride the wave with me. If I'm gonna make toss to him at the beginning, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I'm like, Chris Godwin was the guy that really, took me over the top in a lot of leagues.
Surprise pick for me was, and I was blown away that he actually has performed this well. Lamar Jackson, man. His numbers, Jesus Christ, man.
This is an MVP year for him. Not
this
last
is
year.
yeah. Last year was not even like, just to put it into context. He only needs 3 more touchdowns to equal his touchdowns from last year, and still has 9 regular season games left to play. Just put that in the context. He only needs 3 more touchdowns. He only has 2 interceptions on the year, and one of them wasn't his fault.
Yeah,
one was not his fault. My goodness, like I think
Derrick Henry effect.
I was going to say Derrick Henry's in there too with surprises, because I didn't think he was going to be what he was.
Yeah, I feel I have him in a different category. I think he's the best pick, just because I didn't think he was gonna have this great of a year. Me and Seven talked about this at the beginning of the season. They looked discombobulated week 1 against Kansas City, and they didn't seem like they even had a clue how to really get him the football. Mm-hmm. But now they just have it seems like he has his 8 to 9 plays, like running back plays that they use him for. He's out on third downs, but he's putting up them numbers. He looks like Derrick Henry of old. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think he was by far the best value pick in the second round, like without a doubt. I mean, some people took Drake London over him and Chris Olave over him and Marvin Harrison Jr. over him and Puka, who was already injured, over him. So he's definitely proved to be the dividends. One thing that we all have noticed, got to follow the money. Every time we see it, it happens. You know, we saw it 2 years ago when Hill, Adams, and A.J. Brown all found new teams. They all ended up in the top 5. Now you got Jacobs, Mixon, Barkley, Henry, all new teams, all tearing it up, all in the top 12, top 14. So one thing for you guys as followers, follow the money.
No doubt. And so what you talking about with best value, I was thinking as far as with best value and kind of, you know, a little bit later in drafts, I said Brock Bowers, of course, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It was a great value in Malik Neighbors, you know, even though he's fell off a little bit. I mean, he's getting killed. Danny Dimes is, you know, killing them. But at the same time, I think those two were great values for where they went and how they performed.
Right.
I think the clear best value pick was the man who came off the couch in week 4, Kareem Hunt.
Ooh.
Kareem Hunt is just like to come off the couch in week, well, technically they picked him up week 3, to have 10.5, 18, 22, 13, 18, and 17. Like, for a guy that could essentially, he's most people's RB2s, and to get that kind of production off the couch, you know, that's insane. That's insane.
I give him that. Hey, you're a little biased, but I said at the same time I'm a little biased too. I think Bowers was the best value, just as far as how late he went. But Kareem was off you know what I'm saying, just off the waiver wire. So it was close. It's close.
I actually had J.K. Dobbins as my best value.
Hey, that was a good value.
You know, I felt like
traded him week 1. I'm such a fool.
Oh,
I traded him.
What if they would have just kept him this whole time? Who's he talking about?
I think he's talking about
Kareem Hunt. Oh no, they would have won 5 in a row. They would. They would have lost to Tampa.
The thing, they didn't want to cut him though, but he lied to the owner's face. And our owners, he's a no nonsense guy. He told them, they're like, hey, is there anything else I need to know? He didn't tell them anything about the kick. Said he wasn't involved.
Man, that was the lightest kick ever. And I'm like, man, they act like she just killed the girl. Mixon the one through the haymaker. Mixon through the haymaker for real. If anybody shouldn't be, you know, getting kicked off teams and not playing anymore. I mean,
Mixon did that in college.
He did that in college, though.
I mean, that was a Ray Rice special.
You know what's crazy about the Mixon? Brother Fox and I made a bet. Brother Fox didn't think he was going to get drafted because of that punch, and I told him that the Bengals would take him in the first 2-3 rounds.
He did.
Bengals got him.
And Bengals got him.
Bengals took him in the 3rd, I think, didn't they?
Bro, not only did I say he would go in the top 2 rounds or top 3 rounds, but I told him what team he was going to go to.
Right. Hey, that's a leap right there.
Adam Scheffler ain't got nothing on me. The chocolate chef. Before we get out of here, gentlemen, Brother Fox, how can the good folks take care of us?
As always, y'all can give us that HBO special. If you don't know by now, the HBO special is the Help a Brother Out special. So help some brothers out. Hit that like button, subscribe. It truly, truly goes a long way.
We appreciate you guys rocking with us. This has been another episode of Fantasy Football Safe Space. Good luck to you guys. Keep joining us. Hype Killer, we appreciate you rocking with us.
Before we get off this show today, where are y'all in the fantasy? Since this is the mid-season report, where are y'all at in these fantasy leagues? Since y'all